will roll, whether it's in drive, neutral, uh, low one, low two. It's got some kind of a clutch in it that allows it to roll uh, forward or backwards if it's in gear and the car ain't turned on. All right, so I'm going to use this bottle, this fruit vegetable drink bottle, as Kylie Rodney's car. Okay? The blue cap is the front of the car. So, whatever situation it was, whether she parked on top of the hill and turned the car on or off and forgot to put it in park or whatever, or she just made a mistake and drove in. This is what I think happened. She drove in, okay, into the lake. The car, it ain't going to sink right away, okay? Not unless one of the windows was open. Now they're saying that the driver's side window was knocked out. Okay. Well, say that was up or even cracked or whatever. Just a little bit. When she went in, water started coming in through the doors, the bottom of the doors. And if there was any windows open, which we don't know, they could have all been rolled up. And she's in the front here. Now, we really don't know what happened. If the windows were broke at all, we don't know if she tried to roll the windows down to get out. But if that window was broke, even if it wasn't, there would still be water coming in through the door jambs and the seals. So the car starts going down, but it's floating for a minute. Okay? She might have panicked, opened the window. If she opened the window, water's going to flow in even faster. It's going to flow in fast enough where it's going to force her to the back of the car if she wasn't strapped in. Or she went ahead and undid her seatbelt. And what'd she do? Jumped in the back seat. And she might have tried to roll that window down in the back seat. But the water level was up too high. And once she did that and opened that window, then the water would have rushed in very fast. And what would her next thing be? To try and get to the back, because the whole front of the cab is already filling with water and sinking. And then if she opened up the back window, the water would have came in even faster. And she possibly tried to get to the back to open the hatch. And once she got back there, if she couldn't open the hatch, then that's where she stayed, possibly. Now, air is going to travel up. So at the very back of this vehicle, before it went down underwater, it had probably air in it. That's probably why she tried to go back there. But I'm thinking if the windows were open, there wouldn't be too much air and the water would be flowing even faster. And once that vehicle filled up with so much water, it went underwater. When it went underwater, then it probably rolled on its hood or possibly side or whatever. I'm thinking it probably rolled on its side and went down and maybe landed on its side and busted out that window. If there was a rock underneath there, anything, a tree, log, or anything, the weight of that car and the pressure in the car, that window would have broke out if it landed on its side and then flipped over and landed upside down. Because really, there wasn't that deep of water for it to roll maybe that fast. It was probably on its way of, once it went under the water, it probably was on its way rolling over. But being that it was such shallow water, it's possible that car came down, hit on the side, and then rolled over onto the hood. And that would make sense because the hood was crushed in front. Now, another thing, that car could have rolled all the way over and the car would have been upside down. Now everyone's saying, well, the seats are only 12 inches from the top of the hood, you know, whatever it is, 12 inches, 15 inches, whatever, from the seat to the top of the hood. And if she was already drowned, then yeah, because the hood is smooth on top, right? And if the car was going down and it flips over and she's in the back of the car or in the seat, even the driver's seat, and she wasn't strapped in, now the car is upside down and it's on an angle. And what's the least resistance? Probably the bottom of the car. So it's possible that the water flowing in, and if she was already dead before she hit the water and she was already deceased, then yeah, it's possible that from the front seat, she would have fell out of the front seat onto the roof, and then she had a clear shot. Once, once she was in the water for 2 weeks. Is it possible? I believe it is possible. No, I'm not saying there ain't foul play, but is it possible that she could have floated to the back seat if she didn't go all the way back to the hatch to try and get out? You know, is it possible? Not. I believe it is. If she was lifeless already, then yeah, the body's got air in it, so it's going to float. Eventually, it's going to want to float uh, because there's air in it, in the intestines and in the body and everything. So, is it possible she floated uh, right over the seats, along the roof, all the way along to the roof to the back of the vehicle? Yeah, yeah. Now, is it possible she was alive and was trying to get out, and the car flipped? The car rolled, and that would have probably disoriented her. Maybe it was. You have to remember, it was pitch black out. And especially underwater, if the car got so far underwater, yeah, it would have been real black. Yeah. And then she just didn't have enough strength to open the back hatch. Maybe. People are saying, why didn't she crawl out that window that it was rolled halfway down? Well, she probably couldn't. If the water level was that high and she opened that window, the force of the water would have came rushing in. You know, yeah. At this far, all we could do is wait for the autopsy and toxology and all that stuff to see what happened. Now they're saying the tow truck seen her after the supposedly she was dead, and I mean this is now the tow truck driver is a suspect. He does look kind of, they better run his face in the FBI most wanted or whatever sketch or local area or whatever. That tow truck driver's face looks familiar to me. Not that he's guilty of anything. I'm just saying they better run it, but something ain't adding up, folks. Do I think possibly the body would float to the back of the vehicle? Yes, if the vehicle's upside down and it's sticking up this way, the back of the vehicle's up. Yeah, least resistance. It's gonna eventually find its way to the back. I know it sounds crazy. How could it get over the seats and everything? Well, there ain't no, after the seats. There's a good 12 inches. She was a tiny, thin girl. She wasn't probably even 12 inches wide. Thickness. I mean, you know. Uh, yeah, yeah, it's possible. What do I think? I think the car went down if the front window was cracked open at all, uh, water would have came in faster than usual, than just the doors. You know, if all the windows were up and she drove in and opened that back window, and that was the only window that opened, water would have came gushing in massively. Pretty fast. It would have came rushing in pretty fast. And you have to remember, pitch dark, car under water. Yeah, yeah. I'm not saying there was not foul play. Maybe there was. I don't know. I don't have all the evidence, toxicology, autopsy, all that. They'll know if she drowned. They'll know before they will know. Hey, she was alive when she went into the water and she drowned. And if it's that and there ain't nothing other than that, meaning any marks to show that there was abuse or foul play, then she drowned. And you know what? I wouldn't doubt it. That little girl probably panicked. I would panic. Anyone would panic. You know, pitch dark out, plus the water coming in. Once that car went under, oh, it was probably darker than dark itself, than dark outer space. Not just no light at all. You know, like I said, she might have opened that window trying to get out, and once she did, the water pressure came in, and then that was just whew. You know, we don't know. Either that or maybe she was deceased before she went into the water. But here's the thing, if she was, the autopsy will show this little lady was deceased before she entered the water. We ain't got no water in the lungs. We ain't got no water in the, you know, yeah. You know. They will be able to tell. I know that. If this was just an accident and she was alive when she went in, and the autopsy and everything shows she drowned. You know, she drowned. That's why we're so far in the case. The only thing to do is wait for the autopsy and the toxicology to come back, and the forensics, and let the investigators do their job. It makes sense to me why she's in the back. Everyone, I can't believe she was in all the way in the back. Well, yeah, she was trying to get out. If she opened that window and the water started gushing in from the window and she couldn't get out, what's her next plan? To get to the back of the vehicle where there's probably air because the vehicle was angled up, the back end. It was angled up when they found it with the front windshield crush so I imagine, yeah, it's possible she went all the way to the back. Yeah. But it don't explain to me why the hatch wouldn't open. She might have went to the back. The car might have been under water filling in. Then it might have been easier for her to open the door or the back hatch. But it's possible maybe there wasn't a back hatch release on that vehicle. I know a lot of people are saying, well, why didn't she get out the window then, hold her breath? And, well, it was pitch dark. Once she went under, I mean, these are things going in my head. It was pitch dark. She probably couldn't see nothing. She was probably disoriented. She probably tried to get out that window, but didn't know where it was because it was pitch dark. I can just imagine the thoughts of something like that. She knew the window was open, but at first she couldn't get out it because she did open it and water rushed in. and that disoriented her. And she probably thought, I got to get maybe to the back. Who knows? Is it possible? I think it's possible if she was in the front seat and accidentally drove in and panicked. And even if she was even if she did drown in the front seat, do I think it's possible the body would float to the back of the vehicle if the back of the vehicle is sticking up in the air? Most likely, somehow it bounce around stuff, almost like you remember that Atari game Pong where the ball would come down, ping, ping, and you'd have to move the thing. Well, if she wasn't strapped into the front seat, eventually that body's gonna want to surface to the top, and it might have just being the car was on an angle, it might have floated, hit the roof. And she was a small girl. It's not like we're dealing with a big round girl. Could she have squeezed through the seat and the roof? I can on my Ford. If I wanted to get in the back seat and had to go over the seat, there's enough room to get a you know, you have to remember there's a good 12 inches from the seat rest or the headrest to the maybe 11 inches. I ain't even 11 inches thick. So yeah, I think it's possible. Now, I would be suspicious if she was in the back of the hatch and the autopsy shows, well, she was deceased before she went into the lake. Then I would be suspicious. But if it comes back and she drowned, well, then maybe she did just try getting out. And the back of the car was her last attempt, or she drowned right in the front of the vehicle, came out of the front seat, and somehow floated. How? Who knows? I know if she'll float around if she's not strapped in. You know, if the back of the car is up in the air like they were showing when he went into the water, what was the first thing you seen? The back of the car and the license plate tipped up. Yeah, I think it's possible. If there was any currents, a lot of boats in there for the past 2 weeks that she was in there, could boats stir up a current? Yeah. If it was a great day and there was a lot of boats on the lake driving around and everything, yeah, that would stir up the current. How much? I don't know. How many boats are on that lake at one time? I don't know. Could they cause a current by going around in a circle or water skiing or jet skiing? Yeah. Then that would make the body even float probably more around in the vehicle. We'll have to see. But yeah, it makes sense to me. If the vehicle goes in the water, now it's floating for a minute. Water's coming in. She's panicking. Maybe the lights went out, battery went out. Possible. She's floating, floating. She's panicking, unbuckles her seatbelt. There's water already filling in, probably a good 2 feet in the front from the doors. Uh, and it's floating. She panics, gets in the back seat, but the car's front end is already floating enough or sinking enough because it's filling in through the doors and the seals and everything and the air conditioning unit and everything. And then she pops that back page to try and bounce. Car goes under. She panics. It's dark. Maybe she realized, dang it, I forgot to pop the back hatch. I don't even know if there's a hatch you can open manually in the back of that vehicle. She might not, it might have been so find the hatch to get out. But if the autopsy comes back and says she was already deceased before she went into waterfowl play, then there's definitely something wrong. If she's got bruises or that ain't. Here's another thing: it wasn't a violent wreck because there's no airbags. There's no airbag deployment. Now a lot of people are saying the airbags didn't go off because there has to be someone in the front seat for the airbag sensor to detect that. But I always thought the airbag sensors were in the front of the vehicle by the bumper. So as soon as that impact happens, it blows the airbags. I could be wrong, but she couldn't have been going very fast, you know, which makes sense. The road she was on is horrible and it's sand. So she couldn't have been going too fast, you know. And I'm determining if that window was broken out or like AWP said, once the car goes underwater, it wants to roll because of the buoyancy in the tires. The tires are filled with what, 40 pounds a piece of air? You're looking at 80, you're looking at, it don't take much. You're looking at air in them tires, and then the car wants to roll. Maybe the car already started rolling as it was sinking. And then boom, it don't make the roll completely and lands on its side, busts the window out, and then the car rolls over, crushes the front window and the top of the hood if there was a boulder or anything under there. Makes sense. Then again, the car might have rolled before it even went in the water and she was knocked out. She might have came around that corner with determining where they were. She might have came down that road straight ahead, right towards the lake, and then at the last minute realized there was a problem, tried to turn, car rolled over, crushed the front window, and then went into the water and floated. We don't know. Let the investigators do their thing. These are only theories I have. Do I think it's possible that that body floated all the way to the back of the vehicle if she was not strapped into the vehicle? Yes. Eventually, that body's going to float. Where it goes, who knows? Who knows? You know, what I think is she tried to get out through the back. It makes common sense. That's anyone's main thing. If there's water filling in the front cab, get to the back where she can pop a window or whatever. But being that it was dark, the car might have already been halfway submerged and sinking, and she didn't know that and tried to open the window. And once the water came in, even faster, that car probably started sinking real fast. Yeah. We'll find out. Autopsy will tell, forensic and all that stuff, and the investigators, they will be able to tell what happened to that little young lady, if she drowned or if she was deceased before she went into the water. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. My condolences to her family. You know, they haven't released if she was tied. There's people making videos. She was tied up in the back. Well, I didn't see any of that. I didn't see that. Now they're saying the AWP video of them talking to the truck driver and not calling the police about it first was real shady. I understand that information. They should have, you know, we don't know if they gave that to the police or not right away. But that information should not have been put out. That information should have been given to the police first. And the tow truck driver is actually suspect, because if his dates are right, uh, he was the last one to see her. For all we know, Jagger wasn't, there was nobody with her, and she was by herself when that tow truck driver seen her. That would be, he was the last one to see her. Ain't they looking for some dude out there or something, the highway rapist or something like that? They better check that tow truck driver out real good. I guess his dad owns the tow truck company, and automatically they took the video and locked it up in some kind of a place or something, just to make sure. I wouldn't doubt it if they owned a company. I imagine their lawyers are going to be like, we want to see the video first, if it's even her, or if there's something else on the video. We don't know. Now people are saying the tow truck driver looks suspicious. Well, maybe. Maybe he just wanted his 15 minutes of fame, or maybe he was trying to cover his tracks that there was other people went. See, this happened, and he says a week later that he's seen flyers that she was missing. Well, a week later, he could have been watching this whole case on social media and said, yeah, I went there, but there was some guy there with her. And he described somebody that we all think it might have been, but Jagger's saying, I was 4 or 5 hours away when that happened, and the police haven't come out and said anything yet. So I would imagine that they will find out. That they need to get their hands on that video that was on that tow truck driver's car, and they need to start running faces through FBI and Most Wanted or whatever to check everything out. There's a lot of people saying that dude looks, well, maybe he could have been on just a sketch of someone they were looking for. And he could have been watching the social media the whole time and just came up and said, oh yeah, I seen her and I was called out there. That would explain if there's any evidence of him being there, any fingerprints, anything else, anything. Well, I had to go there to fix the car. Yeah. Some of these YouTubers are right. It is suspicious. And some of these YouTubers are saying, no way, it didn't happen this way. It was foul play right off the bat. And you can't tell until the evidence comes. Then they will be able to tell. Now, here's the good thing. Fingerprints. Are you going to be able to get fingerprints being that the vehicle was underwater for 2 weeks? I don't know. I don't know how far forensics has come. Would they be able to get fingerprints off of that car? I don't know. That's something forensics and the scientists you'd have to ask them. But here's the thing. They got to get that video from that tow truck place, because now there's people out there saying he's suspicious. He might have been the last one to see her. Maybe there was enough time where he was able to watch this case on YouTube and then come up with this. Oh yeah, I was there. I worked on the car, and it didn't click until I seen her face on a flyer in town. Then it clicked that, hey, I'm serviced her car or whatever. I don't know. It could, we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. We will just have to wait and see. But there's already people making a lot of speculation. My opinion, yes, the body could float from the front to the back. Being if the roof was turned over, it's completely smooth on the top of the roof of the car once the car was turned over. Is it possible she slid down from the seat in between the thing and then finally was released enough where she could float on the bottom of the vehicle, which would be the roof, to the back. Yeah, yeah. But I'm thinking probably, most likely, if she ended up all the way in the back, she might have been trying to get out. You know, she might have been trying to get out, and it makes sense because pitch blackout, water coming in, cold water. She might have tried to get in the back. There's no way she can get through the back. Yep, no, I've seen the photos. If the headrest in the middle is put down, there's plenty of room for her to crawl back there, and that might have been what happened. Yeah, I don't know. Observe natural evaluation. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe some people now are saying that maybe the truck driver was told to say this stuff or whatever. But I can tell you this much. I've been watching that AWP for a while. They're a great team. They do find bodies. They do need to work on their people skills, meaning the way they talk to the families of the victims, and they shouldn't be speculating about nothing. That's not their job. You know, they should go in, find the body, call the police, and then video, we found her. And that's it. And if anyone says, well, what do you think happened? I don't think nothing because I ain't trained in solving murders or deaths or anything like that. I'm trained in finding missing vehicles and bodies underwater. And I can't answer any of that. But they did make speculations, and they've been recording families after they give them heartbreaking news and everything. And you know, I don't know if they should be doing that. For one, they should be calling the police and say this is all. You know, after they find someone and they ask, "What do you think?" Call the police because we are not liable for anything, and we ain't investigators or crime scene people. We're divers, and we find missing people, and we found Kiely, Rodni, and that's all we're going to answer. You'll have to wait because it is an ongoing case. I agree with some of the YouTubers. It's an ongoing case, and making that theory that, well, it looks suspicious. Well, we all think it looks suspicious, but this could be something as simple as that little lady made a mistake, and that's it. Or the autopsy comes back and says Kiely was deceased before she went into the water. Then we got foul play. Then we got foul play. But till then, it might be something, folks, as simple as she made a mistake and drowned. And where she drowned was right where she was in the back of the vehicle trying to get out. You know, so I'm not going to. We got to wait for the. We got to wait for the autopsy and the case to be done. And there's a lot of people saying that they want money, AWP or up churches donating this and that and this and that and this and that and people are doing, you know, that's how they survive, with donations and everything and off their YouTube. So am I upset at them about that? No. They're great divers and they do their job well. And that's where we should be leaving it. Anything other than that is speculation, and they're not forensic guys. They're not FBI. They're not autopsy guys and toxicology guys and crime scene investigators. So I agree with some of the YouTubers that this is suspicious. Well, it is. And then they hook up with Upchurch and everything, and Upchurch is already, people are saying he's lost his mind. And yeah, I can see how people are saying it, and it looks suspicious. Well, it does, but let the government handle it, folks. Let the government handle it. I do want to thank AWP for finding Kiely. How did the police miss it? Well, we don't know. The police might not be as trained at underwater recovery and radar reading as AWP. If that's the case, then somebody did something wrong. And what they're doing now is creating a mystery. Why? So no one gets sued. So the police and the sheriffs don't lose their jobs. And, I think they're all trying to contact each other because they want to get a story going, maybe. If this don't pan out and there's foul play in there, they're probably trying all to cover their butts, Sheriff's department and all these police that were out there searching, if they missed that vehicle, and we searched that, we had 50 dudes out there, underwater divers, and 10 feet, 15 feet, or 50 feet off of the shore, and they couldn't see it or find it or anything. No, somebody might say, we need a whole new police department, fire them all. Yeah, you don't know. Now there's people saying it could have been a sacrifice. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt anything anymore. I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't. But my opinion, could she have floated to the back if she was in the front seat? Yes. That's just my opinion. And why do I say that? Because the least resistance path, body and water will take. Eventually that body will sink to the bottom of the lake for so long. But then eventually the body surfaces. And I believe AWP said that in that video, that when they get a call for a drowning, they usually don't rush right away to the site to look for the body. They usually wait a couple days or so, because they know eventually the body, if it ain't lodged somewhere, eventually the body sinks to the bottom of the lake. But then eventually the body will lift and float to the top. And that makes sense. To me it does. That's why a lot of people ain't found when they first drowned. But after weeks or a month or whatever later, then the body surfaces to the top after it's soaked for so long or whatever. The air that's trapped inside the body makes the body buoyant. So, yeah, I mean, it's, we'll have to see. It's all we can do. We're so far into the case, that's all you can do is wait for the autopsy and the forensic and all them to go through the whole car and go through the video of that tow truck driver to see what date was on that video and if it even was Kiely in her car or someone else that looked like Kiely. For all we know, it was somebody else with Kiely's vehicle, and she was already deceased and in the back. We don't know. But here's the thing, if she was already deceased and they drove the vehicle in, the autopsy will be able to tell that this young lady did not drown. She was dead already before she went into the water. And that's probably why a lot of people are flipping out, is if it is foul play. What do you mean they can tell? Well, they can tell if she was alive or dead before she went into that water. Yeah, that's how good them dudes are. They can tell if the body was deceased or not before it hit the water. Yeah. All we know, the car went in the water and she could have hit her head, knocked herself out, but she would still be breathing, and that would show a drowning because she would inhale water or whatever if she was unconscious or passed out from drinking would show a drowning too. So I mean, we gotta wait. That's all we could do. But there'll be all kinds of people out there. So this morning I ran over to my brother's because he wanted a pile of grass clippings that he's been piling up, burnt. So I lit that on fire this morning. It started burning pretty good, but then the next door neighbor came out and said, can you put it out because I'm trying to work in the front and I'm getting smoked out." He's like, "I work during the week. Can you burn it while I'm at work?" It was just a pile of just a thing of smoke blowing towards his house. So I had to end up putting it out after being there for about a half hour, letting it burn. So I'll burn the rest of it this week. But I did stop on the way home at a garage sale. I got a couple things. I got this wireless router for $3, a Netgear 6400 or whatever. I got this, which is unbelievable. $5. $5. Yeah. $5. Chrome. What else did I get? Oh, I got a giant salt rock that changes all kinds of colors. One of them salt rocks. It plugs in USB. You're supposed to put it by your computer or whatever. It plugs into your computer. Big giant salt rock that changes colors or whatever. For $10, everything for $10. Oh, there's that giant Netgear thing, wireless router. So now I could run. If I ever figure it out, I could take my other computer and hook it up in my bedroom and watch YouTube without. I don't have a router in my bedroom, so I don't know. I'll have to figure it out and see how it all what you could do with it. Yeah. Other than that, I'm going to finish my day sitting around here. I might do some laundry, clean up around here. Folks, all you could do is wait. We don't know. Little Jagger might be innocent. The tow truck driver might be innocent. And this is how feeding frenzies get started. They might have got themselves in a pickle and they're all trying to come up with so they don't get sued or whatever. Do I think AWP was a little out of line by not contacting the authorities first? I'm upset at the authorities, at the sheriff's department, for not being there. Everywhere that AWP boat went, there should have been a sheriff's boat right next to it in case they did find her. They could have contacted the mother and father first. Now there's a video out saying that AWP had the mother's phone number, but didn't remember it or something like that, or couldn't find it. I don't know if that's true or not, but this is what happens in social media and YouTube. The feeding frenzy Yeah. If that and I know another thing, if that car rolled over before it hit the water, there would have been evidence of a rollover. That car, there would have been grooves, dig-ins where that car dug into the sand and rolled. There would have been evidence of a rolled vehicle there. Something happened here. Something big made this mark in the sand right before it went into the lake. But I'm thinking she just drove right in and she wasn't going fast. Not at all. Because the airbags, nothing deployed. I didn't see any airbags. That's what I was looking for. I did see something white and I did ask, do you think that's an airbag? Because if the airbag did deploy, then she would have had to been going pretty dang fast. But I don't see it. She would have had to be going fast if she just drove right off that ledge and the car left the ground completely and didn't land until it was in the water. But she would have had to be moving fast, and I don't see her getting that kind of speed up on that road leading to where she went in. I just don't. I don't see it. I don't see her driving that fast. Maybe someone else. If there was someone else in the vehicle, maybe. We don't know. But there would have been evidence too of somebody walking out of there. If there was someone else in the vehicle and they got out and she didn't, there had to be evidence of footprints coming out. I seen some guy just walk right up to where the water was and he sank. So it must have been mushy. There would have been evidence in the water. The water is real clear by the shore. You would have seen, hey, it looks like somebody crawled or footprints actually coming out of the water. Oh, that's so much. It intrigues me, this crime stuff and trying to solve it. But in the same thing, it disgusts me because we should be thinking about better things than crime and murder and stuff. Trying to, I don't know. I don't know. But I did have intel. Raphael got it right. They're saying there's a witch or a sorcerer in America. I don't know. Could be. Raphael, you might have solved the case. You might have solved the case. Yeah, I seen NASA's. I don't know if they scrubbed the launch or they're waiting for weather. Waiting for good weather. I don't know. But that's my thing on the case. We all have scenarios. We all think it's suspicious, but we won't know until the autopsy's over with of whether she was already deceased before she went in or she drowned. And maybe she was intoxicated and passed out in the back. But the autopsy will still show that she inhaled water. So that means she was alive when she went in. So it'll tell. They will be able to tell, folks. They will be able to tell. Fuel leaks? Nah, there wouldn't be too much fuel leaks if she had her gas cap on pretty good. So I imagine some fuel would have came out of the engine department through maybe fuel injectors or whatever. If the gas cap was on pretty dang tight, then yeah, depending on how much fuel she had in the vehicle, and if the gas cap was on pretty tight and all the clamps to the gas tank were real tight, there wouldn't be uh, fuel leakage like everyone's saying. There should have been massive fuel leak on top. Well, not really. Not if everything was real tight. You know, if the flue to the gas cap or the gas nozzle where you put the gas in, if that was all tight, going to the gas tank, and that gas cap was on there super tight. That gas cap's got a rubber seal on it. And for what? To keep gas in and fumes. So it might have been tight, and there might have been a little bit of fuel leakage, but are they trained to see that? I don't know. Is the sheriff's department trained to see a fuel leak, or an oil leak on the surface of the water? I don't know. I don't know. Well, Raphael, I earned my welfare. I paid into Social Security and disability. I'm sorry that you might be a foreigner. I'm sorry that you might think you're above all, but most of all, I'm sorry that you're an idiot and a sorcerer or a witch. We don't know. Just joking, Raphael. You really should learn to be more polite, Bendeo. Raphael. But we'll see what happens, folks. My opinion, yeah, it's possible that the body could float from the front to the back. Yeah, it's possible that she just crawled to the back trying to get out. And that's where she succumbed to death, was in the back trying to get the hatch open. And you got to find out if there's a hatch to get that vehicle open in the back manually. Being the car went in, she might have shut off the ignition. There might be a button back there, but with the ignition off, or if you hit the button, then it. See, like on my vehicle, I got a trunk button from inside. I can hit the button and it opened, but I can put my seats down and I can crawl into the trunk, and there's a manual trunk release handle that you pull, and that automatically opens the trunk. Now, that SRV could have had a manual trunk opener, but being that it was so dark, murky, cold water, she got disoriented and couldn't find it in time before she took her last breath. God rest her soul, and happy birthday, Kiely, in Jesus' name. I can tell you right now, she's in a better place than she was at the bottom of that lake. Glory be to God for finding her. And AWP for being the heroes of the day. But that's where it should end, right there. They found her. They should get the praise for that, or whatever, the reward or whatever. But other than that, their suspicions and their theories don't count in a missing persons case or a murder or just a accident. They're not trained for that that we know of. I don't know. These guys could be ex-police or ex-military or whatever, and are trained in that. I'm not sure. I don't know. But I will give them praise for finding her. They are good at what they do. But solving crimes, that's totally different. And them hooking up supposedly with Ryan Upchurch, everybody's going crazy about that. I think that was a bad call. Not that I hate Ryan Upchurch or anything. He's a good kid. He just needs some guidance. I don't know. He could be a nut job. We don't know. We don't know. But I'm going to leave it at that. I'm waiting for the autopsy and the investigation to be over, unless they make an arrest. If they make an arrest before the toxicology and everything, then they must have seen that video And if they make arrest, it ain't going to be to arrest someone for murder. It's going to be arrest whoever was around that vehicle, if that was Kiely's vehicle, when that tow truck driver showed up. They'll bring them people into question. They might not charge them until after the autopsy and forensic and all that stuff is done, toxicology. Any proof or anything, if they show foul play, then they will go ahead and pick up whoever's in that video. Even we don't even know if there is a video. The tow truck driver might be the I-75 killer out there. We don't know. You know, we don't know. It's only our theories and assumptions. I don't know, Raphael. I don't know what the autopsy is going to say. I wasn't there. I didn't see the body once they pulled it out. We don't know. There's rumors going around she was tied up in the back, or who knows. I wasn't there. I don't know. If I was working on the case and I was there, then that's the first thing they do. They probably put the vehicle on a flatbed, drove it to a location, and once they got it there, they probably photographed everything. Everything. The way the body was laying in the vehicle, everything. They probably photographed everything just to make sure. And then after they photographed everything and went through all the evidence, everything that was in the car, then they probably removed the body and sent it to the autopsy, to be autopsied. No, Artemis Pyle don't even live out there, Raphael. Good God. Why would you say Artemis Pyle detained for questioning? No. Artemis Pyle don't even live in California. He lives in Florida, where the band started. Oh, God. Raphael, you're a ball buster. You're definitely a ball buster, Raphael. That's my opinion. The rest of you folks have a great day. Raphael, I don't know what it is with you and Artemis Pyle, but you must not like him. I think he's a great drummer, and he was a big part of Leonard Skinner's sound at that time. And, the past is the past, folks. Well, 1973, 1973 is something totally different than 2022. So you folks have a good day. That's my opinion. I do think it's possible she could have got to the back to try and get out. I do think it's possible that the flow of water, if she did open that back window after the vehicle was already submerged, the pressure of that water would have threw her all around. So do I think it's possible either she crawled back there to try and get out, or the water pressure moved her around, and she ended up drowning before the car came to a rest, which makes sense. If she was in the back seat trying to get down, the car's this way, she drowns, and now she's just floating, and then the car flips as it got underwater and is going just about ready to hit the bottom of the lake. Then yeah, I think it's possible she could have wiggled her way back in there, especially if that middle headrest was down. There's plenty of room to crawl right over the seat. to get to the back, or she was in the back trying to get out and she succumbed to death, or the autopsy will show that she was deceased before she even went into the water. Then you got foul play. If that's what the autopsy shows, that she was already dead before she hit the water, then you definitely got foul play. Then sound the trumpets and pick everybody up, and now you got a murder case. It could have been an accident out there, folks. And them kids might have knew about it and they might have panicked. It's very possible, but we won't be able to tell until the investigation is over. Then we will be able to tell, unless they get some significant evidence that it was foul play before even the autopsy is done. Then they can make arrest. But till then, I don't know. They need that video from the tow truck driver's tow truck. He had 2 cameras on it, one in the back and one on the front. If that was her, that video will tell. If that was her car, the video will tell. If it was her car or a car that was like hers, but it wasn't her. We'll see. Does Jagger look suspicious? Yeah. Yeah, everyone looks suspicious, but we won't know until the evidence is there. Then we will know. My opinion. And it could be something as simple as she just drove in the lake. And I hate to say it. And forgive me if I upset anybody, but could she have just committed carry, and just drove in the lake and didn't care about nothing? Anything is possible. We don't know. She might have been depressed. Why? I don't know. She had a fight with a girl before she left the party. Well, we don't know. We don't know. We weren't there. We don't know. What do you think about that? I don't think anything. I'm an idiot. Is it possible that anything could have happened? Yes. Anything. Like I said, if they said little green men came down from the sky, show me the evidence. Here's the photo. This is a UFO, and that's an alien. It looks like an alien to me. That's what happened. If the proof is there. If there ain't no proof of foul play, and the autopsy shows just a drowning, or maybe possible she was depressed, drinking, depressed. Maybe her and her boyfriend were fighting or whatever, and I don't know, maybe her boyfriend did something to her. Who knows? And that's why I'm waiting. And we hate waiting around here. Everything's a wait, ain't it? But you gotta wait. In order to solve the case and find out the truth, you have to wait. And her mother's saying she didn't even know that she was found and why no one contacted her. And then the mother said that AWP did have her phone number and knew how to contact her. And really, if you ask me, they should have went through procedures. There's procedures for that. For one, they should have called the police right off the bat before they called anybody. And they should have handed it off. This is the way we found the vehicle. And we're done. We're out of here. And that would have been it. If I was running the show, I would. That's it. My job ain't to call parents and tell them their little daughter is gone. That ain't my job. I was here to find a body. I found that body, and my job is done. This is the tape of how we recorded it. This is how we found the vehicle. I don't know what happened. Let the professionals find out what happened. And I got another body to find. So you guys have a great day. Condolences to the family. And I would have been out of there. No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't have been out of there because you know what? There's other missing people around there. I probably would have swept the whole lake. Hey, we're not leaving this lake until we go over the whole lake and make sure there ain't no more cars in there, no more missing bodies or anything like that. Then, if I was running AWP, I would have said, is the lake clear of any cars, bodies? Lake is clear. Okay, then we're out of here. Why leave there and just to be called back in a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months? We got a vehicle that and a person that's missing in that area. Can you go back to the lake and check it? That's why they should sweep it. So then they could say, hey, AWP swept this whole lake. This date, there was no bodies in there. So anything after that date, any missing bodies or cars that come up missing, they know at this date, AWP swept that whole entire lake, dove in it, crapped and peed for a week or 3 weeks or whatever, and went over that whole lake, and there ain't no more dead bodies or cars. We know it's swept. But I don't run the show. I ain't a shot caller, a big baller. I don't know. But if I was running it, I would have paid them a little extra money or whatever from the sheriff's to pay, sweep the whole lake. Here's an extra grand or whatever, or whatever. Sweep the whole dang lake so we know that we ain't got no more kids or missing parents or whatever in that lake, any vehicles or anything. And once you're done, you can go on to your next case or whatever. Here's the thing. We need more teams. I mean, they said it themselves. Unfortunately, we just don't have the manpower. We don't. We don't. We need more teams like that. Yeah, we need more drone flyers that can identify a vehicle underwater that are trained. Hey, man, that's a little shiny right there. That might be something. Could be a silver dollar. It could be a wheelbarrow in the water. It could be anything, a gallon drum or a 55-gallon drum. But here's the thing. With drones, you gotta have a sunny day, and that water has to be crystal clear. And you can't have murk in it. If it's cloudy and it's not a clean lake, you ain't gonna see nothing after 10 foot down. It'll look like just blue black water, it'll be bluish for so long, and then it gets real blue, dark. You wouldn't be able to see anything. And people are looking. You can see the vehicle from the water or from the drone. You can see, but you're forgetting. They were towing that vehicle up, and it was on float bags. So far, so you could see it after it got so close to the surface. Yeah, you could see the vehicle under the water, but not 50 feet out from shore where the vehicle was found. It probably went in, and it probably did float for a little bit until someone opened that window, or until the front cab filled up through the water through the doors and through the air conditioning vents and heater vents. And then once that happened, it just started tipping. And if she did open that back window, I imagine the water just gushed in massively, being the only point of water coming in. And if it was open before she hit the water, and then once she did go into the water, definitely the water would come flowing in even faster and the car probably sank a lot faster. I don't know. I think I got someone trespassing on me with a gallbladder problems. I don't know. It ain't me. I had mine taken out. I don't know. I got trespassers on me or witchery or sorcery. They're using old voodoo kings or whatever. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. But I'm done with this video. That's my opinion on it. I do believe it is possible for her to float to the back if she wasn't already there. Other than that, that's it. Would the car roll? Being in drive? Yep. I guess that kind of vehicle has a special clutch in it. And you know what? I think Don B yesterday, Don Buckingham made a video. He's got the same kind of car. He did an experiment himself and put the car in drive, shut the car off, and the car rolled down the hill by itself in drive. So that proves that the wheels will spin if the car's in drive and the car is shut off. It's got some kind of a slip clutch in it. A ventricle, whatever they call it, clutch that allows the vehicle to roll if it's in drive. It'd probably roll in reverse too. It'd probably roll in low 1, low 2, and neutral. It won't roll if it's in park. So is it possible she made a mistake and drove in? The car was in drive. She tried to get out. When they found the car, flipped it over. They couldn't look to see if it was in neutral, park, whatever. They said that. They don't know. AWP said, we don't know what gear it was in because we didn't look. We couldn't get to it. It's very possible the car was in drive and they pulled it right out. Yeah, I mean, people jump to conclusions all the time. Do I blame them? No. It's somebody's daughter. We want to solve a case. It could have been our daughter. Letting money in, get involved in it, and subs and views and all that, kind of not good. But that's how AWP supports searching for these vehicles. They ain't got a grant from the government where they get so much money a year to do their stuff. They're not funded from the government. So, yeah, do I blame them for getting money? No, I don't blame them for wanting donations or to get money. They gotta support their business. I give them thumbs up for finding Kiely, but other than that, their opinion after that, it don't matter nothing. It's not relevant because they're not trained investigators. So, if they said, do you want to bring them in to be in court to tell them how they found the car and the position? Yep, great. They're the best at what they do. Bring them in, let them give their statement or whatever. But other than that, if the court said, well, what's your opinion on what happened? It'd be irrelevant because they're not trained in it. They're not investigators. They're not forensic. They're not autopsy. So I would say, motion to deny whatever they say because it's irrelevant. They're not professionals. They're professionals at finding dead bodies underwater. They're good at it. I give them thumbs up for that. Everyone thinks it looks suspicious, but we don't know. That's why the investigators make that big money. And we do have proof now that you folks been using sorcery, witchery, demons, and all kinds of stuff, voodoo. And so, yeah, it's shocking. I'm shocked. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This whole time we were getting attacked by Satan, and there's voodoo kings and magic and sorcery. And why couldn't they just have been honest? Why couldn't the government just come out and said, "Yeah, we think we got some sacred, satanic witchery or voodoo going on in our country," and why couldn't they just say this? Even look at Raphael saying everything's been called off due to witchery and sorcery. I wouldn't doubt it. Raphael, oh, Christopher Valdez is here. Maybe it was her gallbladder. I don't know. These people are about half nuts. Half cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Exactly. It wasn't even my gallbladder that was bad. It was someone else's, and they were trespassing on me. And then the innocent person that's healthy has to go get an operation that he don't need. And then they end up stealing a body organ and selling it on the black market or to save someone else's life. Does that happen in America? Yes. Bunch of cuckoos. Yeah. Well, you people are going to be shocked when the new evidence of this stuff comes out. You're going to see people going, uh-oh, they're onto us. Yeah. Body snatchers. Stealing people's organs and stuff for money and to save other people. Well, he ain't worth it. He's an idiot anyway, so let's steal one of his kidneys or liver or whatever, half a liver. Yeah, this is madness. It's all going to be revealed soon. Glory be to God. Now, you folks have a good day. Be safe. Hopefully they go ahead and get that NASA ship up there. Let's check it out and see if there's still go. Do we still have a go or a go for no go, Houston? NASA, send it up. Let's get this party started. Anything on this channel is only my own theory and speculations. Do I know anything? Nope. Not until the evidence is brought in front of our faces. Then we can say this is this and that's that. Till then, you folks have a good day. Be safe. Glory to be to God. I got my new helmet. Chrome. And now this is going to save me on tinfoil, so I don't have to wear a tinfoil hat all the time. I could just put this on. Metal. And that'll save me from all the aliens getting into my brains. I can tell you this much, too late. They've already sucked my brains out and replaced it with Boston cream. Now, you folks have a good day. Be safe. And let me tell you something. This was pretty good. I think I'm going to go buy another one of these. The Green Machine. I don't know. I hope there was Cal in it. I don't know. You folks have a good day. See you later. Raphael, can you please start being an adult and stop being so rude? Now look at, now he's got Christopher Valdez being a smart aleck. You see how it rubs off? You see, Raphael? This is why. Now you guys have a good day. Be safe.